I wanted to do a quick comparison of the pickups in the Fender Highway One guitar with the Fender American Professional. You know, I've been doing a lot with the Fender Highway One, which I love. You can see I've got 2 videos just dedicated to the Fender Highway One, and I also been playing it a lot, so you can just see me play it a lot. Now, when I play it often, I'm using fuzz and things on it, so this time I'm going to just play it clean through an amp, and we'll compare it with the Fender American Professional. Now, the Fender Highway One has Texas Special pickups. The Fender American Professional One has VMods. Now, from what I understand, but the Texas Special was a pickup, and I've read, in some of these message boards, people said one of the cost-saving measures on the Highway One, which might be true of the American Performer and Special, which are all iterations of the same guitar, one of the cost-saving measures was the pickup, these Texas Special pickups. And I think in the American Special or Performer, they have the Yosemite pickups. People like them. I think they're kind of similar. This has the VMod pickups in it. Now, the American Professional 2 has VMod 2 pickups, and everybody I've ever read, in professional reviews down to, just Joe Blow on the message boards like myself, just any old guitar player, have all praised the VMod. It's just a really nice pickup, very clear, very sweet, and does everything a Strat pickup should do. Excuse me, my glasses. The Texas Special pickups I like. Now, I Googled it. There's some Texas Specials around now. It's a great name. The Robin Trower guitar has a Texas Special pickup in its bridge pickup, and there are Texas Special custom shop pickups. I'm kind of thinking those probably aren't the same Texas Specials in here. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to play these 2 guitars side by side without backing tracks and without any kind of pedal. You're just going to hear just the guitar. Now, I will say that I'm playing pretty loud, and when you play pretty loud, you get it's more distorted. So I don't use a mic. I don't go online, or I don't record with any kind of fancy gear. I'm just playing loud into my cell phone. But you'll be able to hear this side-by-side comparison, and then I'll end with some thoughts. So if you stick around to the end, you'll see some thoughts. both pickups sound good. I don't know how scientific that comparison was, and I don't know how well I have the amp set. Like I said, I was playing pretty loud, and so sometimes when you play loud, no matter how the amp is set in other ways, the sound is different when you play loud, and I like to play loud. Rock and roll music is loud music. It's but one thought is, you know, sometimes less expensive pickups are often said to have a harsh quality, and more expensive pickups have more clarity and definition and also a sweeter sound. I'm not sure if I heard that. I thought maybe I did a little bit, but let me qualify that a little bit, because these are no doubt good pickups. I think the Texas Special pickups, I wouldn't say harsh, I would say they have more grit. Now, if you watch me play this on this channel, you see this guitar all the time, and I happen to think it sounds good. Now, I'm usually playing it with fuzz and delay and reverb through a tube amp, so that's kind of my sound. I would say a very old school sound. And I think this guitar really cranks, so this is not a criticism. I think when you're doing some of that kind of clean stuff like I was playing, Lay Down Sally, if you noticed, you might get a little sweeter tone out of this. So sometimes when I want a clean sound, I go to the VMods, and no doubt that these VMod pickups are very nice pickups. Just clear the air. They're excellent pickups. I've heard a lot of people say they like the VMods ones in the American Professional 1 better than the pickups that are in the American Professional 2, which I think are called VMods 2. I think the VMod 2 pickups are considered a little hotter, and actually sometimes it's nice to have kind of a kind of chill pickup that you can add all the crank you want, but you know, when they're I always think when they're too juiced up, the pickups are too juiced up, it kind of takes away your options. But I thought this one maybe had a little bit more grit to it. I won't. Cheap pickups are sometimes seen as being kind of harsh and maybe lacking some of the clarity and the definition of more expensive pickups. I think these are good pickups. I didn't really notice it. But if you think about it, they're grittier pickups. So I think in some ways they're better for blues, rock, certain kinds of styles. These might be... be considered a more versatile pickup, but if you just want to crank on some loud old rock and roll, blues, Texas, they're called Texas Specials, and I always think of Texas Blues. I guess that might even be a homage to Stevie Ray Vaughan, I don't know, but I think they're excellent. They're not harsh, they are a little grittier. They're both excellent pickups. I think if I were wanting to play something really clean, which I do sometimes, I would use this. When I want to crank, which at least on here, you know, I'm 60 years old. There, I gave my age away. And I didn't even play guitar. I played once in a while, but mostly I haven't played electric guitar since I was in my early 20s. And since the COVID shut down, I've been having a hell of a good time in here playing the guitar. And I don't give a damn anymore. And I'm just going to keep playing rock and roll that I grew up with. But for rock and roll, this is a good guitar. I've kind of revived my rock and roll chops from 40 years ago, and I feel like I'm having a good time. So, but I think these are a rock and roll pickups, and I think when you combine it with the jumbo frets, which I like, this is an overall great rock and roll guitar. I wouldn't use it necessarily in a situation where I had to play a lot of versatile styles, more mellow stuff. I think the intonations maybe just a touch better on this guitar. It tunes up maybe a touch better. That might be the jumbo frets. I don't think it's the tuners, and I'm not sure about the bridge. But anyway, in terms of pickups, I think these are excellent pickups, and I think they're Texas Specials. They have a Texas sound, and if you like that old Texas blues and rock, and you're not trying to play real clean, you know, play backup guitar in the Carpenters or something, then you'd probably want this. But if you're out front playing leads that need to really crank and get out there, they're both fine. They'd both be great guitars. I like this one. I like the pickups, and I also like the jumbo frets, and I think those two things make this a rock and roll beast. But they're both excellent. And I've actually heard some people say they prefer the American Professional 1 over the 2, although I've heard, and I've never played a 2. I think I played one for a minute in a store. A lot of people like it. Sometimes I think as years go by, this will be the one that, you know, people remember a little bit. But I hope Fender's getting their production back online, because, you know, I think for a while they came out with the American Professional 2, but then they according to the stores I go to, they weren't issuing all that many of them, and they were kind of getting bought up. So there was like a waiting list, at least where I was shop sometimes. So, but this is a great guitar, no doubt about it, zero doubts. This is an excellent guitar. This to me is a more rock and blues guitar. Like if you want to play rock and blues, you get that Highway One. It's great. Couldn't go wrong. Go wrong either way, but this to me, and I think those pickups are a factor, because they have that kind of that grit, and they're not harsh. Now I've played cheap guitars, you know, kind of student guitars and everything that kind of have harsh pickups, and they're kind of muddy. They don't have the clarity. I don't think these have that problems, and they're not harsh, but they do have grit, a little bit more grit to them, a little bit more bite. Both great, and I just wanted to share that. I thought it was kind of an interesting comparison in our ongoing praise of the Highway One and the American Professional One, because they're both great guitars. And actually, now that you think about it, both of them are out of production. The American Professional 2, I'm sure, is fine. If you can get a chance to buy one of these American Professional Ones, you can't go wrong, and they're used. I didn't see the price go down that much. I think used prices have shot up just a little bit with the COVID. They were selling around $900, and now I'm seeing them for $1,100, $1,200. I don't know how reliable those prices are, but you couldn't go wrong either way. But if you happen to find a used Highway One, I would snag it, because I think they're really extra nice, especially if you like heavy rock, you know, Robin Trower, anything like that. Can't go wrong. Thank you. God bless you.